You have stainless steel appliances like your kitchen refrigerator or dishwasher, and then you have this, a stainless steel appliance on wheels. Elon Musk thinks this truck is the truck of the future, but I don't know, you tell me. This Tesla Cybertruck certainly doesn't look like anything that's out on the road today, but if you ask an F-150 owner if this thing is a truck, and they will look at you like you're an alien. It does have an actual bed though, so maybe that qualifies it as a truck. Just push this button and your tailgate comes down. In normal trucks, you have a manual bed cover that's a hassle to take on and off. This one though has a motorized cover that's very easy to retract. Push a button and it takes care of it by itself. In the truck bed, it's very much like a normal truck, and you have some nice lighting here as well to illuminate things. You see this rear window back here? It goes away once you close the tonneau cover. With the cover all the way down, you have no back window. What that means for you as a driver, I'm going to show you later on in the video. These stainless steel panels are unbreakable. The only thing I'll do is pound on it, but you can kick it, you can shoot it with guns. Nothing will happen to it. Also, you can jump up and down on this tonneau cover and it's not going to cave in on you. I'm not brave enough to try it, but people have done it and so far it's holding up. If you want to feel extremely safe in a vehicle, this is about as good as it gets. I don't think you can do any better. These mirrors are actually also removable, and if Elon had his way, he would just have cameras here, but because of regulations, they still had to stick with the mirrors for this version. The Cybertruck is designed to be a very capable off-roader, and these wheels are humongous. The way that these aero covers have been designed means that these tires also had to be specially built. Tesla and Goodyear got together and created these special tires, which, as you can imagine, must be pretty expensive if you have to replace them. The way this is designed is specific to Cybertruck only. Right now, the Cybertruck is at its lowest ride height setting, but because it's an off-roader, it can go up pretty high. Let me show you. This is a lot of ground clearance, so when this thing finally shows up on Mars, it should have no problem whatsoever. You have a number of off-roading features to play with: Overland, Baja, Gravel, Rock, Wade Mode, and Trail Assist coming soon. To open the door, you push this button, and then you have to pull the door forward. Same thing with the back doors, and the door opens at a 90-degree angle. This might be a truck of the future, but it's just as practical as any other big truck. For even more space, the seats come up and you have a tunnel that you can walk through. Incredibly roomy, comfortable back here, lots of legroom, lots of space for the backseat passengers. You also have your own display screen in the backseat to give you all the controls that you want. You have separate climate control, audio settings, you can watch Netflix, YouTube. My favorite feature that they have back here is the ability for you to control this front passenger seat. If it's in your face like it is here, no problem, just push the seat up. What an ingenious idea. Hey, stop pushing me forward. If you have kids, then this feature could create a problem. This is a Tesla, so expect a lot of tech in this car, and what they've done with the display and the user experience is absolutely amazing. This is an incredibly crisp 3D view of the car. You can see how smoothly things are moving around, and then whatever you do with the car, it'll actually show up on here. For example, if I'm going to roll down the window, you'll see it roll down on here as well. And then just from this view, if you want to open up the tonneau cover, you can. And it's incredibly easy and quick to move around the map. This is as good as it is on your iPhone. The tech and the software piece of Tesla is where this car company is light years ahead of its competition. From this view, you can also change the ride height if you want. The rest of the controls are very familiar and the same as what you'd find in a normal Tesla Model 3 or Model S. Plenty of cameras to see from all different sides of the vehicle. And then you have to have your fart sounds, of course. Time to open up the frunk. There's actually not that much space in here. It's pretty shallow, not as deep as what it could have been. Might fit a couple small bags, but you would have to use the bed for most things. To close it, just push this button in here. One thing you do have to be careful of though is these corners can be sharp. I've already almost cut myself trying to walk around the vehicle during the filming of this. So if you get one of these, just be careful. These custom-made stainless steel panels are a feat of engineering though. You can't help but admire all the work that went into building this. And this windshield is the largest windshield ever manufactured. Just look at the size of this thing. It just goes on forever and ever. Finally, Tesla has some good seats in here, firm and comfortable. Storage is not a problem in this truck. You have this whole area here, really big door panel pockets, lots of space everywhere. I like how the charge port is blended into the fender. Just tap it to close it. One interesting thing to note is that there is no Tesla or Cybertruck badging or lettering anywhere on the outside. But when you have something that looks like this, I think you can get away with that. The Cybertruck might not be quite as big as the Raptor that I drove recently, but this panoramic roof that it has here is humongous. Maybe not quite as large as the windshield, but close. The world's largest windshield also comes with a 4-foot-long single wiper that's pretty floppy. The ambient lighting in the car is really nice, and you can also change it. Pick your favorite color. Just like the windshield that goes on forever, so does the dash. I don't even know how you can reach all the way back there. If you put something on the dash and it rolls all the way back there, there's no way you're getting it. The Cybertruck is definitely very impressive, and even though on the outside it looks very different than anything else out there, the inside is very Tesla-like and will be familiar to you. One of the first things that you have to get used to is the lack of a normal steering wheel. You have this halfway compromise between a normal yoke and a steering wheel, but it's not the easiest thing to grasp and drive. I would much prefer a normal steering wheel over what's in the Cybertruck. And then, of course, you don't have any stalks. You have buttons that you have to push for your signals. So it's kind of learning how to drive in a different way. Of course, if you own this car, after some time, you'll get used to it. But just driving this for the first time, it's a lot of new things to figure out. Whenever you have the tonneau cover closed, your rear view mirror is worthless. Then you have to use the digital display. I thought that the lack of a rear view mirror would actually be problematic, but it's not really. The rear view display on the screen is something you get used to after a couple times, so it's actually not that bad. What Tesla should have done was have a digital display in the rear view mirror, and that would have solved the problem. But maybe in future versions of the Cybertruck that will end up happening. Other than the steering wheel and a few things to get used to, after a few minutes of driving this, you get situated, you get comfortable, and for being as large of a vehicle as this is, it's not that hard to drive at all. It does have the proportions of a truck. It reminds me of the Raptor that I drove not too long ago. But the big difference between the Raptor and this is the handling. This has got really good handling for the size that this thing is. And the one big thing that changes the game is steer-by-wire. There is no mechanical linkage between the steering wheel of this and the wheels, which if you think about it, might be something scary. But then you think about the creator of this car, Elon Musk, who's sending people into space, fully automated in SpaceX, where they don't have to control anything. If somebody can do that safely, then I think that he can design a car that's safe without any mechanical connection. So I don't really feel unsafe in driving a car with fully electronic steering wheel. There's a lot of benefits to it actually. The biggest benefit of steer-by-wire is the variable steering ratios. So at slow speeds, the car turns a lot more with just a little bit of input from the steering wheel. But at higher speeds on freeways, it acts more like a normal car would with a normal steering wheel. And that is something that you have to get used to because the steering wheel actually doesn't turn that much. End to end, for full locking of the steering wheel, it's really just 180 degrees. And to think that you can actually move this huge truck just by a slight twist of the steering wheel, that is really some innovative engineering. This is how Tesla made the Cybertruck so much easier to drive. And it will be by far the best handling truck that you can get. And if you need a truck for the handling and steering alone, it makes getting the Cybertruck worth it. Because a typical F-150 or any other big truck, you're not going to get handling anywhere near close to this. So much of the driving experience feels like a normal Tesla, except it's much bigger and it's a truck. And despite having those huge off-roading tires, you still get a pretty good, comfortable ride. Be prepared to get a lot of attention in this. People are snapping pictures, videos, talked to a couple of people already. I think people are just finding this to be very unique and different, and so it's attracting a lot of interest. It's a Tesla, so of course the Cybertruck's gonna be fast. Just stomp on it and instantly you'll be happy. Just like any other Tesla, extremely effortless. The Cyberbeast can get from 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds. When it comes down to it, this is a very innovative truck, full of technology, something so different and so unique. Whether or not you buy the Cybertruck really depends on how you think about the looks of it. It's so polarizing, you either love it or hate it. I would buy this not because it's particularly beautiful, but because of the fact that it's weird and unique, and it's a really good vehicle. But the Cybertruck is already in high demand. 2 million people have placed their reservations. You can go on their website and get in line for one. If you want something in 2024, according to Tesla, you can either get the all-wheel drive, 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds, 600 horsepower, or you could go for the Cyberbeast for 100 grand, 320 mile range, 2.6 seconds, 0 to 60. The cheaper one is coming out in 2025, $61,000. Little bit on the slower side, 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds. It's really unique now, but once those 2 million people get their truck and many more, then this might just be as ubiquitous as the Model 3, Model S, Model Y. Basically, Tesla's everywhere.